Hi, everybody. Welcome to week number 1 of Ethical Leadership. My name is Chris, and I'll be your instructor for the course. Each week, what I'll do to start the week off is to create a brief video, 5 minutes or under, that kind of takes us through the week in some of the key things that I'd like you to pay attention to throughout the week. And also, so just a few preliminary things. Please watch the video at the start of the week. I'll post it in several locations. Also, check the course news and bulletins quite frequently. I do put things in the course news and bulletins, including my own notes on the readings each week. I'll post at the start of the week as well. Hopefully, those are of help to you. You'll see me in the DQs as well. And so again, please check the video each week. I'll post it in the course news and bulletins, and also I will post it in the each of the DQs as well, just so you don't miss it. So for week 1, the learning outcomes: review literature on ethical leadership and consider how ethical leadership has evolved and might continue to evolve. So, okay, kind of dipping our toe into it, taking a look at what's out there. So there's 2 DQs this week, as there is every week. The first one, do a web search for other models of ethical leadership and share the link. How do these models intersect with or differ from the aspects of ethical leadership from this week? How do you see the various components of ethical leadership impacting your own professional praxis as you begin to develop your own model? So basically in that one, what I would suggest is find something, and then the whole purpose of finding it is to compare it to what you've read this week. So this is an opportunity for you to say, I found this on the internet, this is a type of ethical leadership, and here's how it compares to what I read about this week. So again, make sure that you use it as an opportunity to demonstrate that you've read the articles for the week and that you get some of the theory this week. It's an opportunity to do that. So don't just describe what you found on the internet, but compare it to what you've read this week. And then from there, the second part of that is to say, and here's from what I read this week, here's what I really identify with, here's what resonates with me. The second DQ this week says, in addition to the first 3 kinds of ethical paradigms, justice, critique, and care, Shapiro and Stefovich offer special attention to the fourth, and I don't need to read it verbatim, but it's professional ethics. As you know, this framework can be used beyond school-based leadership, and you can substitute the word student for whatever context your work environment is. You know, if you're in healthcare, it's a patient, so on and so forth, customers. Using figure 2.1 from the Shapiro text and an example from your own professional field, reflect and briefly share some of the complexities that may arise from clashing codes. So they give us 4 codes, and what happens, when they clash. So for example, I'm just on to the notes I took on the Shapiro and Stefovich article. Professional ethics is a dynamic process requiring administrators to develop their own personal and professional codes. So no pressure, but then they say later on the same page, I'm on page 23, throughout our work, we've come to believe that educational leaders should be given the opportunity to take the time to develop their own personal codes of ethics based on life stories and critical incidents. They should create their own professional codes based on the experiences and expectations of their working lives and a consideration of their personal codes. So lots to think about there as you think about, are there clashes between, and the authors themselves talk about some of the clashes between the first 3 codes and then the professional ethics one as well. Just looking at my notes on Yasser and Mohammed, they talk about a behavioral approach of what actually leaders do instead of qualities or traits they possess, but then they go on to later to talk about situational leadership, how leaders play a pivotal role. They talk about servant leadership a little bit, and then finally they get to ethical leadership. So that's a good example, that article for sure, about how it's evolved towards ethical leadership. So that's that article. Poff and Caldwell from 2018. Do you want trust and commitment or just fellowship is a great example of, or it's a good question to ask. And they go into that a little bit as well. So those are the 3 articles. You have 2 DQs. Again, I'll see you in the DQs. If you have any questions or anything, please just get a hold of me. Looking forward to seeing what you come up with this week from DQ1, finding an example of ethical leadership on the internet, and then comparing it to the articles. And number 2, thinking about professional ethics and saying, how do these line up with some of the other types of ethical leadership that I've heard about this week. So take care, everybody.